So, okay, let's talk a little bit about who could be next. We've gotten this question an absolute ton, and I think this is a pretty valid one. So we'll try and go through some names that I think Florida State is trending really, really well for. Again, if you have other KJ comments, throw them in. But I think Florida State is trending really, really well for a couple of prospects. I think they're doing a really good job already having 2 top 20 guys committed at defensive back, but I don't think they're done back there just yet. I think Jamari Howard's a really interesting name that Florida State is trending in a very positive direction for. I think it was really impressive that they got him on campus that last official visit weekend of July. He spurned UF to go there. I know UF fans were super upset about that, but we already have the best 2 DBs in the country committed. And for them to go out and pull a top 70 kid, he's ranked number 70 on 247 right now, a South Florida kid from down there in Miami's backyard, somebody that Florida really, really wanted. We heard about this Raymond hire and how he just gets whoever he wants. If Pat Surtain's able to come in and grab Jamari Howard, massive, massive for the Noles. I think that if today was signing day, I think he would be a Seminole. I also think that he's going to take it all the way until signing day. So things do happen. Things do change between now and then. But Richie, you got to win your in-state battles against Florida, against Miami, and, be massive to stuff them both in a locker for a top 100 defensive back that adds to the best defensive back class in the country so far.
Yeah, if you're one of the big 3 in Florida and you're winning the state recruiting, that's massive because that gives you such a leg up. You already have Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, Ohio State all coming into your state trying to get your top talent. If you can't beat out Miami and Florida for these kids, it puts you really far behind. And Florida State right now is in a really good position. And I think it's a big deal. I know we're going to talk about him a little bit more, but again, Pat Surtain, that connection down to American heritage down in South Florida, that's going to play a huge role. And Florida State has positioned themselves really nicely. At the start of June, I know a lot of Florida State fans were a little upset, not sure what's going on. 12 commitments later since then, and sitting at number 4 nationally. And I think there's a little bit of belief that we're starting to see in the staff.
Yeah. Another recruit that I really think Florida State, I'm losing a little bit of my voice. I think, we went live for the Board of Trustees meeting. Was that Wednesday or Thursday? And then we went live on Friday. Then we went live last night. Now we're here again. So I'm definitely losing my voice. So shout out to you guys for causing that. My wife will be thrilled with it. But Booker Pickett is probably the next one that I would look at and say that Florida State is trending in a positive direction for. He goes to school. I literally passed his high school coming back from Home Depot with paint today. He goes to Wharton High School about 5 minutes from me. Released his top 5, and Florida State is in there. Florida State's defensive line recruiting probably hasn't been up to the snuff that we think it should be, but I do think that the Seminoles need to close there, need to do a better job with that position group, and I think Booker Pickett is somebody that the Noles can, and we'll see how things go, but may potentially be able to close on down the stretch. Again, Tampa kid, local kid, so he's close to both Florida, Miami, and Tallahassee within 4 hours of each. But I think that he's somebody that I would look at as potentially looking to commit as well. Harlan, we just got one from Daniel. Go Noles. Daniel, comment real quick so I know who you are on here, but we could play a $10 for Daniel.
Touchdown, Florida State! Touchdown, FSU!
We'll keep it going. The Dr. RJP. FSU is one of 3 schools with 3.
You ain't going to Florida State. What you doing?
All right, we'll talk about Jeremiah Smith in just a minute. Great question there, and thank you for the support. Let's go right into it. So let me get to Jeremiah Smith. I'll save him for last. He's a good one for sure. Another one, 2025 kid, Jaden Perlotti. There's been some debate about how to say his last name, but I saw a video where he said it like that, so I'm going to trust how the kid said it. 2025 linebacker out of Buford High School. I think the Noles are in a really good spot to land his commitment here within the next couple of days, maybe even. A couple crystal balls have gone in. We put a prediction in on our Discord for him. And I think you've got a potential flip candidate. I think he's like 91 or 92% or something to flip from UGA on threes metric. Richie, I'm starting to worry for the Battle's End and all those people that live in Georgia. I'm starting to worry for their safety just a little bit going after Kirby as much as they are. Listen, if you're super chatting this video and you're liking and you're commenting and you're enjoying the commitments that we're getting on the trail right now, I hope that you're signed up for the Battle's End. I hope that you're supporting those folks. I hope that you are giving back because that is what's going to let our team compete at the highest level. If you're a Battle's End member, let me know in the comments right now what your thoughts are. But, Richie, I don't know if you heard that or not. I'm starting to worry for Ingram and some of those folks' safety living in Georgia with how they keep picking on Kirby.
Yeah, I think he and some others might have to go to witness protection program here shortly because they, living right in the Atlanta metro area, that there is a heavy Georgia influence there, and they cannot be happy with him and what he's doing. I loved your tweet yesterday with the mission takeaway with the English Smith.
Lord.
He's done a phenomenal job with that, and I think we all, from that first tweet, just the bravado they showed. We don't need your money right now. Well, guys, they've shown what they can do. They said, let us prove what we're capable of. They've shown it. Jordan Travis is back. Johnny Wilson, Trey Benson, Jared Verse. And now you're seeing it at the high school recruiting level. If you are not in members of the Battle End, you need to join at any dollar amount as soon as you can. They're not a sponsor of the show, but we are huge advocates of getting money so we can build the best roster possible and have seasons like last year and stack on top of that and keep building.
Yeah. Artavis Jones, another kid. There's a good one, Andre.
Put a smile on your face. Okay? Because Florida State, if we gonna do it then, we do it big then. Let's go, baby.
Man, I still love Jameis so much. It's like my wife and kids and then Jameis. So anyway, yeah, I think Artavis Jones is another one that you're looking at. A kid that said he's going to continue to enjoy the process, continue to he had a weird quote to Zach over at Noles 247. We said he was locked in with both Florida State and Miami, a current Miami commit. He is close to Tallahassee. I think that's really, really big. I think that will help. I think the Noles need to get him on campus a couple times this year. They'll certainly get him for an official visit, I would think, later on, unless he shuts down his recruitment. But I think that's one that the Noles can continue to work on. JoJo Trader, another name down there at Miami, committed to them right now. I've heard some interesting things on that I'm not going to say here publicly on the air, but I am going to share some insight with our Discord folks tomorrow. So make sure that you check that out. If you're not a member, you can join at the link in the description. But I think that JoJo Trader commitment is an interesting one. Daniel, thank you for your support, my man. Thank you for the support. You're the man. I think the JoJo Trader one is a really, really interesting one. Harlan, I'll get to that last one here in just a second from James. But JoJo's a big one. And then I'm not going to spend any time on this one, but Mr. Zandamela out there committed to USC. I'm hearing some things there. We'll drop that soon as well. And then Jeremiah Smith. I think the Noles are, based on what I've been told, the Noles are solidly running second or third there. And it might be closer to second than it is third. I've talked about this. I think that's a battle for second place. I think that if he, ends up going anywhere else, it'll probably be because Hartline leaves. But the Noles are you don't give up on a recruitment because a kid is locked in with the school. I think if he shuts down his commitment, if he tells you stop contacting me, I think that's when you do. But if he's open to receiving communication and he's open to hearing, I know we get some comments asking about him. If the kid's open to chatting and the kid's open to still being recruited, I think you put your best foot forward. If you finish second, you finish second. But if his position coach just leaves or if he ends up in the portal down the road, I think you'd be pretty thankful that you did keep pursuing. All right, let's get to these super chats, and then we'll give some love out. Richie, we'll talk about something else, and we'll move on. Where do you think we end up rank-wise in this recruiting cycle? I think if they can flip a five-star wide receiver, whether it be JoJo or Smith, I think they end up top 5. If not, I still think they end up with a really good class, like 6, 7, 8, somewhere in that range would be my guess. Richie, you got a prediction on that one?
Yeah, you know what? in early June, we were starting to wonder, is there a path to the top 10? I think you've almost solidified a top 10 class, and now you're just trying to climb. But, as Florida State continues to add talent, so will these other top schools. So it'll be a battle, but anywhere from the, 4 to 9 range probably is where you most likely end up.
I like it. How many 24 commits are they looking to pick up? And how does this impact the transfer portal class for 24-25? So I think the limit is 25, which you can take, but I think there are some interesting kind of rules around that still where you can take a little bit more now. I was told that Florida's going to take 26 or 28 or something. So I don't have an exact number on how many we're going to take. I do know this. Numbers always work themselves out. In fact, Florida State had scholarships left over here in the fall, and that's why they were able to get that linebacker Cryer and do some other stuff. So I'm not super stressed about numbers. I don't think it impacts the portal much at all either. I think Florida State took 9-10 in the portal this year. Certainly they'll have the room to do that next year too. You got a lot of guys that are heading to the NFL after this, from your quarterback to your wide receiver to running back to probably tied in to a couple of offensive linemen, to some defensive linemen, to cornerback, to safety, to a couple of linebackers. So you'll have plenty of room to still be really, really active in the portal. Nathaniel, thank you for your support. Let's give some love to Garnet and Gold, garnetandgold.com. Listen, hopefully you guys are supporting there. Hopefully you guys are shopping there. I posted a link to a hoodie that they've got going. It's almost like that Norvell hoodie from last year. Noslaw, NOSLAW, for 15% off. Go get them taken care of. Go shop there, and we will certainly continue to hype and pump the stuff that they've got coming out. I saw they've got the shoes in. I know you guys like those shoes, the jerseys, the coaches' polos, all those things. Make sure that you're supporting at garnetandgold.com.